Hey guys, and welcome back to BKR Travel. Today's video, we're going to be jumping into one of our Netflix reviews. So we're going to be jumping on Netflix, watching a show or a movie, and obviously coming on here to tell you what I think of it, if I think you guys should watch it, if it is, well, today's one is going to be a documentary, but if it's worth watching throughout the series, or if it's just not that great, this is where every single week we're going to come and we're going to review a different show. Because ultimately, I love watching shows, I love watching movies, I love watching documentaries, because our world is amazing and there is so much around the world that you can learn from documentaries. Obviously there are great nature ones, but ones like this here that go into the epidemic of teen vaping, and the epidemic that created a storm of confusion is what I would say. I would say that this this show really doesn't assist with the confusion. I think that a lot of what we learn in this Netflix adaptation is that you still don't really know. Today's show we're going to be reviewing is Big Vape, the rise and fall of Juul. Now, Juul is a company that was basically a startup around a couple of, entrepreneurs who said, we believe that we can put a stop to the big tobacco and to the cigarette industry, which they were vehemently against. They really didn't like the big tobacco, and they wanted to find a way that was safer, healthier, and was able to get you away from big tobacco, right? And that's where they obviously came up with Juul. Now, obviously, we know what vaping is now to an extent. We know that it is an electronic e-cigarette in comparison to the disposable cigarettes that you do, normally have, that we've had for, hundreds of years. Ultimately, they wanted to create something that could take people away from that, obviously earn money for themselves, and this show is about the beginning of that, the way that it rises, the way that they grow through Silicon Valley in America, which is a very, very successful area of the United States, where it holds places like Apple and whatnot, Google, but it shows the rise, and then it definitely shows the fall as well. But I guess the thing that I took the most out of it was that it's a little bit confusing whether they're on the vaping is good side or vaping is bad side. I'm not going to ruin the show today. Obviously, that's for you guys to go and watch, but, it probably is worth watching. It is definitely worth watching for the sense of you understand the really unbelievable marketing ploys and the way that companies are able to get into your mind without you even knowing that they're into your mind. I can say one here, it's incredible, the marketing ploy to tell you not to do something and to pretend like they're the good people and the people thinking about your health, which ultimately actually makes you buy more because rebelliousness of it. I think that obviously the most part of this show does show the teen epidemic and whatnot. But again, I go back to the confusion of it and say, again, I don't know if this show is really saying, no, don't vape, or vaping is actually okay, but it's just big tobacco that is not okay. And I really think that, and the reason why I have this question as well is because of that marketing ploy they just said, where they tell you one thing against it, but they're actually kind of like trying to tell you, this is actually what you should be looking at, but this is what we're telling you. It's like they're coming out with a negative agenda vaping show, but mainly just intersecting it with anti-big tobacco and cigarettes and whatnot, where it's all just kind of like, this is bad for you, this won't work, you will die doing this, smoking kills, and then kind of providing that alternative in the Juul, in the vaping, and not really giving too many negatives around it. And then you'll find that later on in the show, there's 4 episodes in this show, later on, they kind of take some accountability for the first part of the 4th episode. I would say the first 3 episodes is kind of just relative propaganda in a way. It is just propaganda in a way. But then the 4th episode, you kind of look and see that there is health, effects coming here. There is real negative health effects. And then they remove that authenticity by taking away any form of accountability and kind of blaming others for it and saying, we're not that bad. It's actually everybody else. It's actually these knockoff products. It's not us. So it is a really interesting show about if you're a marketer, if you like marketing, marketing is a really big thing here because it shows how they really grew. If you like, understanding, how vaping came to be, then this is a great show for you to watch. But if you're a vapor or trying to quit vaping, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. Because maybe if you're a vapor and you don't have any care factor for leaving vaping, I get that. If you're a vapor trying to quit, I would suggest not watching this because I feel like there is too many things that kind of give it that cool person vibe. It really pushes you to believe that you're someone when you do it. Now, I will tell you something as well. The reason why I decided to really do this is because 5 days ago, I stopped vaping. I stopped vaping 5 days ago. I've been doing it for about a year. It is addictive. Obviously, it does have a lot of nicotine in it. But I am now 5 days straight without touching a single vape. And I don't think I was actually addicted. I thought I was addicted, but I wasn't. Because 5 days, I haven't even had a single little bit of an urge to really do it, to be completely honest with you. And I smacked through them for a year. Not like some of the people who say that they do one a day. That's insane to me. Like one a week or so, but like one a day was wild for mine. Like I couldn't believe that when I heard people were doing that. But I watched this after 5 days and I started to feel like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. It's these guys are okay. Like maybe it's not that bad, and it was really trying to be a positive. I would say whether that's what their actual intention was or not, I don't know. Like I'm not going to tell you that they were, but it's kind of how it came across. So I wouldn't advise if you are trying to stop vaping to watch this show because it more than likely will put you on a path of thinking it's okay. Because again, when they start to criticize at the end, it really doesn't take accountability for itself and says it's everybody else's problem. So yeah, after like 5 days, I was like, did I make the right decision? It's like, because it does feel good, but it doesn't feel good. It makes you feel sick. And then it's like there's so many things that come into it. I feel so fresh. I feel so good, man. I feel like I'm on top of the world, not vaping and eating healthy and whatnot. I feel great. I'm getting up at 5:30 in the morning nowadays. I wouldn't get up until like 10 when I was vaping and eating, awfully. So very happy with my decision there. But you'll see more of that in the fitness videos. But yeah, look, I think this is a good show. And I think it also is a great show to show that business is business. And although you may go into a startup with like the right motives and beliefs and intentions, ultimately, business is business. And big corporations will always take over. To summarize everything that I've said, I feel like Big Vape, the rise and fall of Juul, is in somewhat a promotion to vaping, whilst really negatively putting a bad spin on big tobacco and smoking cigarettes, which is absolutely correct. Like, that is 100% right to do that, because that is bad. Do not smoke cigarettes, guys. I've never wanted to smoke cigarettes. I have no interest in smoking cigarettes. Doesn't taste good, doesn't really feel good to mine, right? But just don't smoke it. Like, it's not good for you. And that's fine. But I feel like just this whole show doesn't really take too much accountability for vaping as an actual product, and it was more so about the power of social media. I feel like if you go into this with the wrong mindset, you're not going to like it. If you go into it with the right mindset, you'll probably like it for the intriguing value of marketing employees and social media power, and yeah, just how a company can go from nothing to something worth, I think it was like worth 30 billion at one stage. 30 billion before its downfall. So yeah, look, it's a show that I would definitely recommend to watch, as long as you're not someone trying to quit vaping, or you've got that idea of maybe vaping I should do. Don't watch this show then, because it will give you that idea. But it is interesting, and I love marketing. I love the thought process of marketing and how to push a product without people realizing that you're pushing it into their face. I like that. That's what I like. I would love to actually go back to uni and study marketing, to be completely honest with you, because it is so intriguing. But if I was to rate this out of 10, I like to do 10 because you get more of a diverse range. Out of 10, I would give it a straight up 7.5. I'd give it a 7.5 because it is well filmed, it is well documented. It's just that it's not what you think in regards to an anti-vaping thing. It is just a simple marketing, social media rise kind of show that represents what it is and how they began and how they ended. It's not an anti-vaping show. So I'm going to give it a 7.5. I think it was enjoyable. It provided a lot of analysis, but I think it loses a little bit because of the fact that you kind of... It's a bit of a weird impression. There's a little bit of a weird impression. Like, what is it actually trying to tell you? Is there a hidden agenda behind what they're saying? So yeah, there we go, guys. That is the Netflix review of Big Vape, The Rise and Fall of Juul. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, obviously give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you are new around here. We're doing this every single week. It's going to be great. Comment below what your thoughts were of it, or if you plan to watch it, or if you're a vapor and have watched it and what your thoughts were. Was it similar to mine? This is just my perspective and my impressions from the movie, so don't think that I'm saying that I'm 100% right. This is just obviously my opinion, right? So, you know, if you want to go watch it regardless, please feel free. But for mine, yeah, just obviously go into it with the right mindset, and it'll really help you understand the marketing ploys that the world does go forward with. But alright, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.